Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
New information tonight on a story we first brought to you yesterday. A local school bus driver has been fired after her bus hit and injured a young girl. Sources tell Valley News Live that the victim was riding her bike near Freedom Elementary yesterday morning when she was struck and suffered a broken foot.
A letter was sent out to parents of students that ride the bus involved in the crash, notifying them that a new driver will handle that route. To this point, no charges have been filed. After a closer look, we were able to determine that the driver in question was cited for speeding in November during her afternoon route with children on the bus. As part of that investigation, it was discovered that she was going and had been going over the speed limit on multiple occasions. She was placed on a different bus route and placed under close observation by the school transportation department.
One of 32 people accused of dealing large amounts of fentanyl in the U.S. and Canada has pleaded guilty in federal court. Anthony Gomez of Florida is charged with conspiracy to possess with intent to distribute controlled substances, resulting in serious bodily injury and death and money laundering. The investigation into the international drug trafficking ring began when 18-year-old Bailey Henke was found dead inside a Grand Forks apartment building in January 2015. Authorities say Henke overdosed on fentanyl supplied by a man from Portland, Oregon, who told police he could be the largest fentanyl dealer in the country. Attorney General Jeff Sessions traveled to North Dakota last month to announce 10 more indictments in the case called Operation Denial. 5 of the defendants are fugitive Chinese nationals.
Yesterday's U.S. Supreme Court ruling seemingly paves the way for states to legalize betting on college and professional sports. North Dakota's Attorney General says, hold the phone. He says although lawmakers will be working with different organizations to discuss the future of sports gambling in North Dakota, the ruling did not open the floodgates, and there are still a number of hurdles to clear in the legislature before sports betting gets into full swing.
It's still up to each state to decide what it is they want to do. It's not lawful in North Dakota to bet on sporting events other than sports pools, those sport grids that you see, and that's only up to $25. So it's a matter for the legislature to look at as a matter of policy, and I'm sure it will be something that they'll take up during the next session.
The ruling could set the stage for states to expand legalized gambling as a source of government revenue. Until now, Nevada is the only state in the country where legalized sports betting is allowed.
The Attorney General also announced today his office has filed a lawsuit against Purdue Pharma for its role in the opioid crisis. The state says Purdue targeted vulnerable patients such as the elderly and veterans while refusing to recognize the increased risk linked to opioid use in these patients. In 2017, there were more than 24 million opioid pills prescribed in North Dakota.
Little breezy out there today, but it also included some warmer temps. Hutch is here now to let us know what's happening this evening. Hutch?
Well, we have the warmest temps in the Northern Valley, where we hit the mid-80s today. A lot of 80-degree readings up and down the Red River Valley, though, as the radar shows a few showers approaching from the north as a weak cool front works its way southward in a very dry air mass. Our northern counties between the 9 and 11 o'clock hour will have a chance at a brief thunder shower this evening, but most of us will stay dry as temperatures slip through the 70s on an almost perfect evening. Wind should be tapering off as we approach sunset as well. Grand Forks dipping into those mid-60s by bedtime tonight. Coming up, a chance of some rain, much needed in many areas, but it could be a lot. I'll have details in your hour-by-hour forecast here in just a moment.
All right, thanks, Hutch. And make sure you have the Valley News Live Storm Team weather app so you can keep up with the weather anytime, anywhere. You'll get the latest forecasts and conditions so you can plan your day. Just search VNL Weather in the App Store. Download it for free.
Sudden smoky conditions over Fargo are being attributed to a controlled burn in Wilkin County, Minnesota. Emergency managers tell Valley News Live that the large grass fire near Brushvale, Minnesota, is now out. The smoky conditions prompted several calls to local emergency managers in Fargo, as well as to Valley News Live, by people wanting to know what was going on. We drove out to the fire about 7 miles from Breckenridge. A neighbor tells us a farmer started the controlled burn to prepare the field for springtime. He says with the colder, wet fall season, the frozen ground couldn't be tilled at the time, and that it's common practice for farmers to burn all the residue because if too much is left over, you can't get your seed in the ground. The neighbor we spoke with says he probably would not burn in the windy conditions of this afternoon, but he says his neighbor started the fire this morning under perfect conditions. And once you start, you have to finish.
Most of the northern half of Minnesota was under very high fire danger today, including a red flag warning for Polk, Kittson, Roseau, among other counties. A red flag warning means the area is experiencing extreme weather conditions that are ideal for wildfire, including dry vegetation and gusty winds. Do not burn while the red flag warning remains in effect, and check any burning done recently to ensure the fire is out. Any spark could become a wildfire under red flag conditions. That red flag warning expires at 8 tonight.
Officials say a driver fell asleep at the wheel and was hurt when his vehicle hit 2 guardrails on Interstate 29 and ended up on its side in a ditch. The crash happened earlier today near the Davenport exit, 7 miles south of Fargo. The driver was taken to a hospital. There's no word yet on his condition.
Bail has been set at $500,000 for a North Dakota man charged with murder. 37-year-old Kevin Hoff of Montpelier is accused of killing his former wife. Hoff is said to have called police over the weekend saying he shot and killed 25-year-old Nicole Gatula Hoff in the parking lot of the Jamestown apartment building.
A Fargo man will spend a year behind bars and 2 years on probation for threatening North Dakota U.S. Senator Heidi Heitkamp. Kevin Olson was convicted of sending an email to Heitkamp's office in December 2016, threatening to shoot her in the head. The threat brought U.S. Capitol Police to Fargo in January of 2017. The Red River SWAT team was called in to help execute a search warrant at Olson's home in the 1600 block of 51st Street South. Court documents show that Olson admitted he sent the email, but refused to answer questions about it.
At least 4 officers have been charged with crimes across North Dakota in the last year. And when an officer or deputy is arrested, it can have an impact on all the previous arrests they made. When it comes to arrests by officers on the hot seat, like former Burleigh County Sheriff's Deputy Carrie Komrosky, those cases are reviewed by the state's attorney's office. Court documents say that Komrosky stole approximately a pound of meth valued at $10,000 and 13 cell phones from the metro area task force while he was working as a deputy for the department.
We are doing those cases that Deputy Komrosky was involved in on a case-by-case basis, determining what his level of involvement was, and then determining at that point what's going to happen with each case.
One area defense attorney says they sometimes look for a dismissal of the client's case if one of the officers involved is arrested for a similar crime.
Crews continue to ramp up road construction in the area. Later on Valley News Live at 6, more information that should help you through it with less hassle.
Up next, honoring those who wore the badge and gave their lives in the line of duty.